Hi, I'm Deborah Atkinson, and this is Flipping 50, the place to reset, tune up, and prepare for your second and better half with the vitality and the energy that you want. I answer questions in every episode from women just like you about what they're struggling with most. I provide the solutions to what to eat, how to move, and time challenges so that you can get the most results in the least amount of time. Send me your question at flipping50tv.com, and if I choose your question for the show, I'm going to send you gifts and goodies I'll tell you a little bit more about later. Even if I don't choose your question for the show, right away I'll send you my Muscles in Minutes guide to toning those hard to tone areas. What are you waiting for? Let's start Flipping 50 together. Today's question is from Debbie, who writes, her biggest challenge is cellulite in her upper arms, and she's just starting noticing it and doesn't have any idea what to do about it. Debbie, you are not alone. Within days of receiving your email, I got 5 more questions from Linda and Sarah and Gina and more about cellulite and what it is. Today, I'm going to show you a 4-part system for cellulite solutions that I've used with clients for decades to reduce the appearance of cellulite and help you feel better and have more confidence. Debbie, I have a 4-part system for reducing the appearance of cellulite. But before we dive into exercises, let's talk about what cellulite really is. Cellulite is just fat. It starts showing up more as we age, in part because fat cells under the skin become more visible as the skin thins, and the fascia under the fat and on top of muscle is not as elastic. And last, connective tissue gets weaker. Now that we know what cellulite is, let's go to the chalkboard and create a plan. Okay, Debbie, so we know what cellulite is. Now, here's our plan. We can't have a great plan for exercise with fitness in mind without a little talk about diet and hydration. So you've got to do a diet detox, and that means eliminating sugars and every pseudonym of sugar that you possibly can in your diet. And the same goes for carbohydrates that are extracurricular and not really a part of great nutrition. Then you've got to make sure that you are well hydrated. You store water in your muscles. Therefore, if you're dehydrated, we're going to see and have more of that fat presence. So start drinking right now. Do you have a glass of water? Last, we're going to go into the cardio exercise prescription that is all about your cellulite solution. Number 1, you're either going to do a super high quality cardio warm-up or you just finished your cardio workout. Because, Debbie, you're complaining about that deposit of cellulite on your upper arms. If we can use your upper arms in your cardio, we're really going to get specific with your warm-up. So how could we do that? Swimming, rowing, or boxing are amazing ways to warm up. I'm going to show you how to use boxing today and have a great time while you're doing it. When you get to your strength training, I'm going to show you exactly how to focus on strength training that targets those muscles really well that we want to eliminate the cellulite visibility over. We're going to go right on and roll out the kinks. Basically, we're going to talk about myofascial release. Self-massage, maybe with the help of a friend or someone else, where we are actually getting to hydrating the fascia below the fat and above the muscle. And I'll show you how that works and how it feels in a little bit. And last, we're going to finish with specific body part where the cellulite is stretches. You have to have all 4 of those parts, and that will be your cellulite solution. Let me show you how it works. All right, Debbie, so here we are, ready to start the warm-up. Basically, you're going to think, I need equal time on the right and the left side, and you're going to do some simple punches. Start with lower intensity because your joints aren't warmed up yet. So we're going to start with a jab, just like this, feet are staggered, just kind of easy. You can always do more later, but start easy as opposed to aggressive. Let your joints get used to the idea. You're gonna do about 30 seconds. I'm not looking at a clock. You can. And And then you're gonna switch to the other side. That first and second minute, a little bit lighter, a little bit easier than the later minutes. And your warm-up will take about 5. When you start breathing a little heavier and you start sweating just a little bit, you know you're ready. Come back to the first side. Take a different punch. This is a cross. You just did a jab. Now I got a little rotation going on. And switch. Start a little bit more power as you warm up. Shifting back, I'm going to combine jab, cross, cross. Start slower, more on purpose, and then you're going to get a little quicker. And you can hear me breathing a little harder. Are you breathing with me? Put those hands up. You don't have to have gloves. When you come to that second side, go slow. Then get your power. Things should be heating up a little bit. Now, just play. This is jab, jab, cross. Jab, jab, cross. Keep breathing. Remember, lean in. Jab, jab, cross. Get a little power in your hips. Remember, you're not after perfect. You're after warming up those muscles you want to focus on. Just for fun, right up the middle. Here's what I want you to do. Give me a jab right to the front. Start speeding that up. And this will be your last one. All right, now kick it into high gear. Imagine there's the bag right there. Okay, you should be breathless. Debbie, warm-up's done. You're a little breathless, a little bit warmer. Now we're gonna dive into the exercises. What I have for you is a set of bicep exercises for the front of your upper arm and tricep exercises for the back of your upper arm. So here's how it's gonna go. I'm gonna have you choose a weight that makes you fatigue by 15 repetitions. Here's what I do. When I do the individual exercises that will make sense to you in a minute, I have to start with a heavier weight. For me, that's 10 pounds. But don't let that fool you into that's what it will be for you. Test it yourself. When I get to the combination, I'm already beginning to fatigue, so I have to put that heavy weight down and pick up a little lighter weight. And for me, I use 5, and I might be able to get by with 8, depending on the day. So make sure you test and leave yourself a little variety with your selection. You might want weights so you have a light set, a moderate set, and what's a heavy set for you. We're gonna dive in right now to the tricep exercises first. Okay, Debbie, you're in a little bit of a squat situation, weight on your heels, tailbone back, a little arch to the back. Drop your head down so you're not straining your neck, and you may catch me not doing that because I'm watching you. I want you to start with your weight straight down, and you're gonna lift them to the rear, and then come back to that hanging position. Remember, you have a weight that's heavy enough, you fatigue at 15, and that means already I can feel this in the back of my upper arm. It's goodbye bat wings with this one. Straight up, a little pause, that means you own it, and there's no swinging. And lift, and I hope one of us is counting. We're gonna call this 8, 9, 10, and 11. Keep breathing. 12. Remember that weight stays on your heels. 13. 14, and you're almost there. 15, and relax. Debbie, it's time for exercise 2 in your tricep set. So make sure right now for the exercise you're doing, you have the right weight. You might use the same weight you did on the first one, but you might need to drop your weight down and use a lighter one, or you might need to go heavier. Whatever you're doing, make sure you take it one day at a time and do what's right today so that you fatigue at 15 or fewer reps. Okay, Debbie, you're gonna pull the elbows out, but also you wanna make sure that they're in close to your sides as much as you can. So be careful about looking too far up. You wanna look down, and I'm gonna look a little cockeyed here so I can see you, so don't repeat what I'm doing. You're gonna hold this back, and you're gonna kick back and back and in. And the important piece here is making sure there's no momentum. So you wanna own that by pausing right at the top and back in. Exhale as you push, and think about where your weight is. It's all the way back on your heels. And in. And we're gonna call this number 8. And in. 9. 10. 11. 12. 13, and remember that weight should be starting to feel pretty heavy. 14. And 15. Okay, Debbie, short breather. This one's all about the cumulative effect, so I really mean short. You just did a tricep exercise that crosses the shoulder, followed by one that crosses the elbow. Now we're gonna tie those two together to really knock out that muscle group. Here we go. All right, so slight bend of your knees. Remember, this is a mini squat. Pull your weight back onto your heels. Weights hang down, and from here, I have my palms facing in. Makes it just a little bit easier to move. They could also face backward if you're comfortable with that. You're gonna lift straight back, flex and extend and come down, and that's 1. Lift, in, out, and return. Lift, in, out, and down. Lift, come in, and come out, and down. Lift, in, out, and down. Trying to keep those elbows high. Reach, and down. And Debbie, this one is the exception to the rule. So if you make it to 15, awesome. If you start to lose form, and you are between 10 and 12 repetitions, you're okay, and you have completed that set. Lift, come in, come out, and down. And I'm gonna do 2 more with you. In, out, and down. Last one, lift, in, out, and down. Okay, Debbie, your triceps should be a little fatigued. This is equal time for your biceps in the front of your upper arm. And we're gonna do a short lever, a long lever, and the combination, again, similar to how we did the triceps. So remember, I'm gonna start with a little heavier weight for the short lever, probably go to a lighter weight for the long lever, and maybe even a lighter weight for the combination, and I recommend you do the same. I also want you to remember, I'm sitting on an exercise ball, so if you have a bench, a chair, or a ball yourself, that's probably the best way to go. If you're standing, we want to take care of the lower back. So make sure your weight is on your heels, your tailbone is tipped under, which means your core is engaged to protect that lower back. So whether you're sitting or you're standing, let's go. Your elbows are in at your side, crown of the head toward the ceiling, and you're gonna just simply curl up and down. Right now I've got my palms face up. I could also do a hammer hold and turn my palms face in. But the key is no swinging on these short levers, and probably you do need to go a little bit heavier than you do on your long lever. So once again, I cannot count, so we're gonna call this number 8. 1, 2, we've got 5 to go. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 makes 15. That's the first of your bicep exercises. Now we're going to the long lever. So you're gonna want to shift probably to a little bit lighter weight. Okay, long lever coming up. So you're gonna keep a slight bend in your elbow like you're cradling a baby, and then lower it back down. So it's just a lift up and lower back down, Debbie. Here's number 3. What you want to remember is we've got to keep those shoulders down away from our ears. We're lifting basically from the shoulder, but not with them. Lift up and back down. So even sitting on your chair or bench or the ball, you're going to notice your core is working like crazy to hold you upright and not to lean back. Lift and down. Raise up and down. I want you to do 6 more. 1, and lower down. 2, bring that down. 3, and down. Dig in through the core, stay tall. And down. Last 1. Pausing at the top and release. Okay, Debbie, now you know what's coming. It's time for the combination. We're gonna go extension, flexion, extension, and down. So you may want to start with the same weight or downsize if you're really fatigued already. All right, palms up. We're going to do that full range of motion lift. From here, I want you to keep the elbows right in place and extend. Come back down. There's 1. Lift up, flex, extend, and return. Nice and tall through your back. And this one you're going to find is as much core as it is your biceps. And in and out and down. Lift up, flex, extend, and come down. Lift, flex, extend, and down. And this is similar, Debbie, to the other combination. So if you can't make it to 15, you're really feeling like you're fatiguing, you're losing form, you can lower these weights down and go to a smaller set. Or if you're between 10 and 15 repetitions, you're finished. You made it, and you're doing great. And in, and out, and down. Let's do 3 more together. Lift, flex, extend, and down. 2 to go. Up, in, out, and down, and last one. Sit tall, in, out, and return. You made it. Debbie, that's 2 steps of your 4-part system down. Now it's time to roll. Okay, Debbie, step 3, rolling, is really about self-massage. And unfortunately, I'm not talking about the kind of massage that makes you say, ah. I'm talking about the kind of massage that makes you say, ah. It's gotta be deep, is the message. Remember in the beginning, we talked about your skin, then the fat, then the fascia that lays over the muscle. Right now, we're trying to get to that fascia. So like you're drinking water to hydrate, this helps to hydrate the fascia. So the idea is we've got to get in there deep in massage. So think about somebody really digging in with their fingers. You can do that too, but if you don't have the luxury of getting massage frequently every week, here's what you're going to need to do at the end of every workout. I use my rolling pin because otherwise it's not getting a lot of action. So I could take that rut on my bicep and just press as hard as I can possibly do and tolerate. And I want to roll back and forth about 20 times over the same spot. Move that slightly and roll again 20 times over another spot. That ensures that you get the muscle and the fat and fascia from all angles. But once you're disciplined and you know you're committed and you're gonna do this regularly, there's a great tool called the stick, and I'm gonna put that in the resources for today's show, so don't miss that. This one, it's a little more helpful if you have someone else to help partner with you because it's got multiple spindles that'll help you get right to the deeper muscle tissue and that fascia. Let's show you how that works. Okay, Debbie, so with a partner, you've got to give them a little latitude and encourage them to go deep enough so that you grimace just a little bit. Remember, you've got to get to the depth of that fascia for it to be effective. So starting with the biceps, if you're seeing cellulite on the front of your upper arm, you need to roll back and forth about 20 times across those fibers in that direction, and then you'll move just an inch or two to the side, or if you're also finding you've got that on your triceps in the back of your arm, you'll move directly there. And again, 20 times back and forth fairly slowly. Last but not least, Debbie, we're gonna do step 4 of your 4-part system, and that's stretching to lengthen and elongate those beautiful muscles. Okay, Debbie, step number 4 is stretching. We wanna lengthen and elongate the muscles. Now, it can be a little tricky to stretch the biceps, but one of my favorites is the doorway stretch. Put your palms forward on either side of a doorway. And if you don't have one that works well, you can do either side one at a time, and that'll work well too. But to do the doorway stretch or the Titanic stretch, you're gonna lean forward through the door until you feel that stretch across the elbow and across the shoulder, and then hold and relax 15 to 30 seconds. It's really important that you hold long enough because we're lengthening and elongating those muscles. So we see the definition of the muscle and we don't see cellulite anymore. Debbie, it's time for the triceps. I want you to take one arm, reach it up, and then reach your palm back like you're patting yourself on the back for the great job you just did. If you have a little bit more limited range of motion, I want you to keep this other arm down and just press from below, pushing back so you're feeling the stretch between your elbow and your shoulder and your tricep. If you've got great range of motion, I want you to bring this hand up, hold on to your elbow and draw it back just a little bit further, making sure your tailbone is still tucked under and your core is engaged. Remember, you're holding for 15 to 30 seconds, thinking all about elongating and lengthening those muscles. Debbie, I have one more stretch for you. We're gonna hit the triceps again. Find a doorway or a wall, even the back of a high chair. Okay, Debbie, this is a modified down dog. So you're gonna press your hands on the wall, lean your hips back away from your heels, and then drop your forehead down to hold this stretch 15 to 30 seconds while you're feeling a stretch here, once again, through the triceps in the upper arm. And that is the end of your cellulite solutions. So the key flip of the day is that cellulite is just fat. But it's fat that needs some TLC in your consistent 4-part cellulite solution workout and detoxing your diet of those sugars and those unnecessary carbohydrates. Debbie, thanks for sending your question and let us know how it goes. Now I'd like to hear from you. What's your biggest challenge? What are you struggling with most? Send me your question to flipping50tv.com. And if I choose your question to be featured for the show, I'll send you exclusive access to the After 50 Fitness Formula for Women online course and a copy of You Still Got It, Girl, the book. Plus, my friends at Anne Marie Skincare will send you a trio of full-size products, so you'll be beautiful from the inside out. Even if I don't choose your question for the show, I will send you Muscles in Minutes, my guide for toning those hard-to-tone areas, with a special bonus section on cellulite solutions. So what are you waiting for? Let's start flipping 50 together.